The day has finally come. You can now play the very first Fallout game recreated in Fallout 4's engine in its full 3D beauty, or at least part of the first Fallout game, as what we're talking about today is the newly released Fallout Vault 13 demo, and yeah, this is going to be one of those all-time special experiences in Fallout 4 modding because as of right now, you could finally do some quests that are identical to Fallout 1, but experiencing all of that in Fallout 4's more modernized engine. Vault 13 is the ongoing project to recreate Fallout 1 and Fallout 4's engine, and this has years of progress behind it already. The team behind this one chose to release one of their 5 regions with the Inyo early, giving you several locations to explore, quests to do, and even several of the unique Fallout 1 gameplay features being re-implemented for Fallout 4. And there's some pretty interesting change-ups that will come forward when adapting Fallout 1 to Fallout 4's engine. Fallout 1 features several cutscenes, particularly right at the start of the game, but in this Vault 13 demo, you instead are just interacting with characters and the environment around you, just like the other modern Fallouts. And this distinction was pretty cool to me. I've seen these intro cutscenes dozens of times at this point, but we were just getting to trigger a near identical visual by actually interacting with the world space, and that was just really cool to me. Like, I've seen this opening vault scene so many different times, but I've never actually been able to interact with the world while it's all happening. And of course, as you actually get into the broader world, things start to really ramp up with Vault 13. The introductory cave is of course a huge upgrade. I mean, yeah, going from isometric to full-on 3D exploration will almost always be an upgrade for most players, but the far more interesting example is the overall world space with the Inyo, because exploration in Fallout 1 was actually pretty different. You traverse on this broader map where random encounters can occur, but otherwise you're largely just going from location to location on this map. It's open world, but not in the same sense as a modern game. And with Vault 13, they still are going to be implementing an overworld map like this, just not to the same degree. There's going to be 5 distinct open world spaces for the Fallout 4 version of this experience. And here we're playing with one of them, that being the Inyo. This including some of those early game locations that are still iconic like Shady Sands, Vault 13, and more. So with Vault 13, you get this epic step out moment where you finally leave the vault and you just see the world around you. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty wild one on 2 major fronts. One, just getting to look out at the world like this isn't really a thing in Fallout 1. There's some cutscenes that can give you somewhat of a similar experience, but not really. So you can start to see how this new demo will create some pretty notable experiences even with that same landscape. And the landscape here does look absolutely amazing. But even beyond that, since in Fallout 4 this will be a full-on open world tile now, several minor secondary locations must be added in to flesh out the map in between major settlements. So in some of that initial exploration, you're going to be stumbling upon some of these totally new locations created for the Fallout 4 version. Although, at least in the current demo, this could definitely get New Vegas-esque pretty quickly. There's plenty of running between locations, and as of right now, not a ton to find at the newly added places. But of course, things can be added upon this with future updates. And more generally, I just want to highlight how much work all of this actually is. To lay out this map in a realistic way where everything is connected, but there are now locations in between for you to find. Because yeah, when you look back at that Fallout 1 gameplay, things were playing out very differently before. And once you do start to get to some of the major settlements, things seriously look amazing. Shady Sands is that iconic first town you'll come up on. And this too is a very faithful recreation compared to Fallout 1. The layout is perfectly adapted, and even the building kit they use for the 3D space in Fallout 4 looks amazing. But of course is very similar to what we had in Fallout 1, but I really think the team outdid themselves here with this implementation. Exploring Shady Sands just feels awesome in this mod. And yeah, the interactions here will be identical. You'll talk to Seth and you'll find the exact same dialogue choices as Fallout 1. He also is a vendor now though, so you'll have that as an extra option. This mod overall will have several adaptations to make Fallout 1 fit in better with Fallout 4. One of the quirks of this demo is the lack of voice acting, at least as of right now. So all of the characters will talk to you, but they'll be fully silent. While in Shady Sands, you can go over and recruit Ian as a companion, just like in Fallout 1, as well as beginning that core starting quest while you talk to the leader of of Shady Sands and getting tasked to deal with their ongoing rad scorpion problem. And I gotta say, this open world desert around Shady Sands just looks phenomenal. The desert was pretty simple in Fallout 1. It'd almost be hard for this not to be a faithful recreation, but just personally, I thought this was one of the best looking desert landscapes that I had ever seen in a Fallout game or even for many of these larger mod projects. It really came out amazing. And as I did make my way over to the Rad Scorpion Cave, it does remind me that, oh yeah, Fallout 1 is far more of an RPG compared to the later games, and even just generally a bit more hardcore overall. Because in this one, yeah, your companions can just die. Ian took one too many shots in combat, and that was it for him. But even further, Fallout 1 has some of those open world perception events that you can easily take advantage of. As I walk into the cave, I noticed the entryway was a bit weaker compared to the rest of the cave. Thankfully, earlier into this demo, I found some dynamite while exploring, so now I could set the timer and drop the dynamite to collapse the cave overall, solving that rat scorpion problem once and for all for Shady Sands. And there are, of course, other cool interactions like this as well. Later on, while investigating Vault 15 and looking for that water chip, I noticed a loose floorboard and was able to lift that up, revealing a full underground section. And then you could find some rope to rappel down to the lower section of this vault. Unlike later Fallouts, Fallout 1 could definitely be unforgiving. Like, if you just don't have rope here, you'll have to backtrack to go get some, likely going back to Shady Sands to buy one. And of course, how you build out your character in Fallout 1 will be different. There are new perks and traits in general, and these are, of course, directly recreated from Fallout 1, but also skills are a cornerstone of your experience and how your character will be dealt with in combat. Each of these new features is fully implemented and already usable in this demo. And there's also going to be a variety of new weapons that you can unlock during the demo. It has that original revolver style 10mm pistol, which will now be a break action, so it features custom animations, some custom sounds, and I just thought this thing looked and functioned great. The trusty combat knife is also making a return here. There's going to be a wide array of creatures that are recreated from Fallout 1 for you to take on, and the combat knife even gets some pretty cool new animations to make it feel a bit more special for the Fallout 1 remake. The 10mm SMG is here, this being from an existing mod, but still very fun to play with, and even the Desert Eagle is included. The earlier Fallout games included a ton of real-world weapons, and the Desert Eagle was one of the best pistols in Fallout 1. Over the course of the demo, I ended up searching Vault 15 for the water chip, which is sadly not there. You can't find the water chip in the demo right now, but I also took on some great cons, helping out a member of Shady Sands, as well as just exploring a ton of the newly added locations for this open world Fallout 4 adaptation. And just speaking overall, I think this demo is truly something special. For many players, this will be their first ever opportunity to experience the original Fallout game, but more importantly, I think it shows the attention to detail from this dev team. This world and experience was fantastic, but they're also creating this interesting adaptation with some modernizations, but also some of the old features. The demo really made it clear that Vault 13 will be a combination of Fallout 4 and Fallout 1. Hopefully, as a result of releasing this demo early, more hype is built for the mod, and some additional members joined the mod team. But if you're interested in even more upcoming mods for Fallout 4, check out this video to see the upcoming release from the Fallout 3 Remake mod.